So we're here on Backbreakers and Bites with Mitchell Chamale.
How you doing, man?
Good. Thank you for sitting down with me and taking the time. I know you're super busy, man. This is the CEO of Combat Night MMA, promotion that basically runs Florida. You also, are you still an active fighter, or is that kind of done?
I should be done, but it's one of those things. Right? Real fighters will tell you, man. You just never know.
All right, so we're at Ray's Cuban Cafe in Casselberry, Florida, next to Orlando, if you're not familiar. Why'd you pick this spot?
Man, this is the spot. I tell people all the time, especially since you're from South Florida, this is the best Cuban spot in Florida. So that's why I wanted to have you come up here and try this out. I want your honest opinion, once you start eating. But got a lot of love for this place. We moved in a neighborhood close by, and they had just... a new family had bought this restaurant out, a Cuban family that came here from Cuba, and it had horrible reviews, but they just bought it. They kept the name the same, but they just bought it. And
so it's not really Ray's Cafe.
Yeah, well, they love that name, Ray's Cuban Cafe, but yeah, it's a different spot now, and it has signs up, new management, and so we come in here and eat. We're remodeling the house, and man, they just took care of us. Like they were really friendly. Would give us like extra pastries and like free coffees, and I'm like, man, these people are like super, like they're like trying to earn the business and like make us regulars here. And man, 10 years going, man. I come here probably 3 times a week. I spend a lot of money at the Cuban spot.
That's awesome, man. I'm looking forward to trying the the Tripleta.
The Tripleta, yeah.
That's
my favorite sandwich. Anyone who comes here with me knows that's what I'm recommending.
And after driving up here, this is super useful, man. I already chugged the energy drink on the way, but. So we like to start from the beginning, man. I mean, like I said, before we started this thing, I do want to talk a lot about Combat Night. I think it's an interesting angle. You don't meet a MMA promoter every day, especially a successful one. But where did all this start, man? Like you were a wrestler in high school. Where did your interest in all the martial arts start?
I wrestled in high school, and really it was because I was just I was a pretty fat kid. Like I was like 180 pounds, like 5'4", 5'5", and one of my buddies, he had also been pretty fat, lost a lot of weight, and I saw him eating French fries, and like he was chewing them up and spitting them out, and I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I got a tournament this week, and I got to lose weight, but I like the taste of fries," and I was like, "All right, that's crazy," and I was like, "How'd you lose all this weight? You used to be big," and he was like, "Oh, I lost all the weight." Like through wrestling practice. And I was like, wrestling? It's like, yeah, you should come out and try it. And I was like, all right, I'll come out there and try. I'll see what it's about. So I go to practice and I'm wrestling. I'm like, oh, man, this is a great workout. I'm dying. But I was all in. Like I just fell in love with wrestling. And then when I graduated, really when I was like 17, probably, I started just fighting a lot. I enjoyed fighting. Like
street fighting?
Yeah, getting in street fights, someone couldn't bump into me or disrespect me without me slapping them. Like I just wanted to fight. Like I wouldn't go pick a fight or like start a fight, but if someone was being disrespectful, like I was ready to fight. If one of my friends didn't want to fight and someone really wanted to fight them, like, yo, I will fight you for them. I enjoyed it.
It's a good friend, dude.
Yeah, it was an adrenaline rush for me. I really enjoyed it. And this is like back when a fight was a fight. You didn't have to worry about someone pulling out a gun or pulling out knives. Fight was a fight. And from there, I went to college at a small Christian school. I was a cheerleader, and I didn't really like the school that much. I was like,
you said you were a cheerleader?
Yeah, I cheered in college as well.
That's such a random jump, dude. Wrestling to cheerleading?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, it's a random jump, but
was it for the girls or for the gymnastic aspect of it, or?
So I cheered in high school.
Okay.
My girlfriend at the time wanted me to come try out for cheerleading. Like we were doing like the movie Bring It On was a real popular movie, and like. I like learned to stunt from watching this movie to do it with her. And she's like, you should come try out. And I was like, yeah, I'll come try out. That sounds like fun. So I went and tried out and I made a team. We broke up probably worst or perfect timing, depending on if you're her or me.
Yeah.
For her, it was the worst timing. For me, it was perfect timing. So I cheered my senior year in high school, but I also wrestled in like different seasons.
Yeah. That's like the craziest like cross training.
Yeah, it was.
Usually guys do like wrestling and then football.
Yeah, it was cool though. Like, cause I mean, I feel like as much as people maybe wanted to mess with me, like you can't really fuck with me. Yeah. Like, I like to fight, and that I wrestle.
Probably made your fighting better though, to be honest with you. Like everyone's going to like calisthenics and gymnastic type stuff like GSP and whatnot.
Gymnastics is hard, man. It's not easy. To have total control of your body is not easy. But but yeah, so I went to college, ended up quitting after 2 semesters and came back home. When I was back home, I just fell into like some jujitsu classes. My boy Hoffa and a guy named Ross Kellen, who's like an OG here in the sport. They both ran gyms, and I went to both of their gyms, and I was like, oh man, this is kind of cool. But I didn't really, I was maybe there for a week, 2 weeks, nothing crazy. I went to college, did a judo class. I met a guy who did jujitsu. So we were doing jujitsu after school, and he whooped my ass every day. And I was like, man, I got to figure this out. He choked me out left and right. He's like, oh, come to the school I do jujitsu at. And just like one thing led to another. And that school had a bunch of guys that were pro fighters and like in the early day pro fighting. I can't even think of a lot of their names right now. I know one of them is David, Stan Rosanowski. Like these guys have like, David is actually a guy I'm still connected with. But yeah, he was like the big dog, had 4 or 5 fights. And then I ended up finding a jujitsu, like a real traditional jujitsu school, but I started fighting while I was at that spot.
So were you just training jiu-jitsu at the time?
I was, when I took my first fight, I was mostly just doing jiu-jitsu.
Damn, dude, that was like such a thing back then too.
Oh, yeah.
Your first fight was pro?
Yeah, first fight was pro. Yeah. Well, I took one amateur boxing match. I wish I could find the footage of this fight.
Without doing boxing?
Yeah, well, I had maybe a month, like there was like everything happened pretty fast. When I started doing MMA was like the end of November. I took my first fight like the middle of January.
Damn.
So
dude.
like I did some
knew how to throw a jab.
Yeah. And I grew up fighting, you know what I mean? Like I was a tough dude. Well, growing up fighting and a little bit of boxing does not prepare you for a amateur boxing match against a guy who's been doing it his whole life. It just doesn't.
They threw you in against a really good guy right away?
Well, yeah, you show up and you kind of just get matched according to weight.
Oh, shit.
And there was no one at my weight, so I went up 10 pounds, which at the time I was like 160. So I went up to like 170,
yeah,
which is a huge difference. The guy was huge. He hit me with a straight left, and I was like, nah. I was like, I'm taking this dude down. So I double legged him, boom, slam him. Ref's like, what? Like you can't. Like, he's like yelling at me, I can't do this or whatever. And he's like, you do it again, I'm gonna DQ you. Cool.
You can move whatever you want here. It doesn't really matter. Just leave the mic pointed at you.
I'm going to throw it right in the middle.
Somewhere.
Okay. Yeah, that works.
No, we got the food right
I don't
away.
know if I've even told that story before about, it comes pretty fast.
No,
I don't know if I've told that story before about the wrestling, but Ref tells me he's going to DQ me if you do that again. And I was like, all right, cool. We start fighting again, bro. He hits me with another straight left hook, and I was like, nah, bro. We're done. This fight's over with.
Hey, you held it in good, though. You could have kicked him.
I double legged him again, and they were like, all right, fight's off. So I do have an amateur boxing match. Didn't go my way.
0-0-1 DQ.
Yeah. So I ended up taking an MMA fight on pretty short notice.
Yeah.
I fought a guy who had a lot of, he had like 6 or 7 fights, amateur, and yeah, I won. It was like the craziest experience of my life. Like I've ridden motorcycles. I went super fast on motorcycles, roller coasters, crazy hikes, you name it. I've done all kinds of crazy stuff, but there's nothing like getting your hand raised in front of all your friends and family. Like first of all, beating another man.
Yeah, I was about to say, you missed like the almost most important part of that.
Beating the dude, but then like whenever there's something about that feeling where you're looking at all your people, your hand's not even raised yet, and you're like, yeah, I just did this shit. Like,
shit, yeah, and like I said, we're gonna sidetrack here for sure because I've said this I'm like Joe Rogan at this point. I repeat like the same story 100 times.
Yeah.
But I came up at the time when they didn't have amateur MMA here either, and I was in Orlando, and we spoke about Gracie Baja and whatnot. So I knew a couple guys that they were blue belts in jiu-jitsu, dude.
Yeah.
And they would take a pro fight, but like in your case, you had a guy with 7 amateur fights. Mm-hmm. In some of these guys' case, they're fighting a guy that's also like a blue belt. And if you were a wrestler and a blue belt, you could become like a 10-0 pro, just taking out guys that were like, it was kind of crazy.
Our mutual friend, Jim Allers, I would say that's what he did. Like
oh, for sure that's what he did, dude. I mean, he developed this striking for sure.
He developed it, but at first, his first probably 6 fights was like just jiu-jitsu, wrestling.
Yeah. And dude, like you couldn't really find well-rounded MMA at that time either. A lot of it was like jiu-jitsu schools. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, we spoke about Bobby Robert.
Yeah.
Who else was there at the time? Like he was there and he was jumping around gyms, but like who else was really there to bring your striking game to the next level in this area.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't a lot of people. There were some boxing coaches that were decent, but Bobby was responsible for like all the OGs, like the Ben Saunders, and he was doing striking for everybody pretty much. And if you even the guys like now who are coaching and teaching have Bobby Robert style, like it's just Mike Shagroy over at Fusion, he's one of the striking coaches. He's one of Bobby's students. So
was he one of the dudes from GBO too? Was that guy like 6'6" and like used to be a hockey player or something?
Yeah, hockey.
Dude, he was who was teaching when I got over there. That's funny.
And he's a scary
just
individual.
by looking at him, he's scary. Yeah. Dude's thighs are tree trunks.
He played it, man. People, just real quick to touch on Mike, people like talk about like, oh, he's got 300 plus fights and like, oh, all their ice fights there. It's on the ice. Like, no. Listen, dude, when you understand that if you got a 4-game stretch against a team or you're playing the same team 4 games in a row and you go out there and you fight a guy, first of all, Mike was one of the smaller enforcers, 6'6", smaller enforcer.
Yeah, that's a crazy statement.
When you go out there on the ice, you got to fight somebody. He's there to fight. So they got to go fight. The other guy goes fights the other guy. If that guy whoops his ass, drops him, concusses him, whatever, they both get put in the penalty box. Later that game, hey, Mike, go fight again. He's got to go fight the same dude again that just whooped him. Do you understand the mental like fortitude that you got to have to understand that this is your job? That's what you're doing. Like,
and the potential CTE.
Yeah. And you're on the ice. You're on skates.
Yeah, and you got all the pads and everything on. Like, dude, it's ridiculous.
Better not. Well, sometimes they have the glove, but a lot of times they're throwing off the glove. Yep. So yeah, I mean, just want to say I had a lot of respect for Mike, and I didn't know this when I first met Mike. I was like, oh yeah, 300 hockey fights. I was one of those guys, full heartedly. I was one of those guys. But the more I've learned about the sport and just Mike too, it's like, man, I got a lot of respect for a guy that's going out there and doing what he's doing.
Right. I mean, dude, and like, you just blew my mind because I didn't realize that he was at Fusion.
Oh yeah, and 4 games. So the guy whoops his ass in the first game, second, third, fourth, man.
And then they're probably coming for you at that point too. Yeah. They're like, yo, take this guy out so you don't come back. Like, there's no way, that's wild shit.
But yeah, Mike's at Fusion.
No, that's awesome, dude. Yeah. And we were talking about that too. I mean, I touched on it a little bit with Jim.
Yeah.
But like, I'm saying this because we're getting to the combat night thing, because I think it's a lot of the reason you ended up making combat night. But like, it was small, dude. There was like 2 gyms.
Yeah.
And to what we just said, all the gyms now have guys from those 2 gyms.
Yeah.
Like, it's wild, like how this thing grew. But back then, you were pros, but were you really a pro, Like,
yeah.
Eventually you were.
The pros from back then would get demolished by the amateurs fighting for us.
Guys coming out of Contender Series would like make you look like the whitest of white belts.
Yeah, it wouldn't even be a competition.
Yeah.
It's crazy how high level the amateurs here in Florida have gotten over the past. And I've gotten to watch it all. We're doing 16 events a year. We're doing average of 15 fights an event for amateurs. So I've gotten to watch all these guys grow and the sport evolve over the last 14 years. It's been crazy to watch.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's insane because like, I feel like UFC, I don't know, it got a little, I wouldn't say boring to me, but like, remember it used to be 1 pay-per-view a month and you'd be so amped up for it.
Waiting for it.
Now it's like there's so many events. I'll skip 1 or 2. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, yeah.
I got called out on it. My boy's like, you run a MMA podcast and you don't care about this fight? I'm like, dude, like,
yeah. I mean,
like the next one, yes.
I run an MMA promotion. And,
I know that's...
I don't, like, for me, honestly, like, people are like, they'll talk about this new up-and-comer who's maybe in the top 15.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I got no idea who that is. And they're like, oh, what do you mean? Oh, you're supposed to be there. I was like, no. Ask me who won our 155 belt. Ask me about the guy that debuted last week in Fort Lauderdale. Yeah. Ask me about the guy who debuted in Jacksonville. And I was like, I know their names. I know how they won.
And you definitely know guys that most other people wouldn't have any clue about.
At this point, I'm a casual fan of the UFC.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. I'd rather be a diehard fan of Combat Night and a casual of the UFC.
Well, plus some of your guys might end up going to the UFC.
Yeah.
So
and then I'm watching every one of their, I'm watching all their fights. Anytime our guy makes it, we got guys coming up fighting here in March. Austin Lane, I'm going to be glued to the TV. But, I'm going to have people over. It's going to be a little watch party just for Austin's fight. I could care less about the rest of the fight.
Yeah, which is awesome. That's what it should be like, that homegrown talent, man. It's awesome. So you created Combat Night with Josh Samman, right?
Yeah.
How did you guys end up like crossing paths? I know you both fought in Tallahassee, but like it just randomly happened after an event in the back of a car, writing on an envelope and whatnot.
Yeah, that's how we like.
But you guys were already boys before that, or you just were like?
We were cool. Like, we were boys. We weren't like the best of friends. Like, we were friends. We would party. like after a fight, we'd party, you know, maybe during fight camp, we'd like have a last hoorah where we'd all go out, that kind of stuff. But we had a very different group of friends. But we hung out a lot because of the gym. You know what I mean? And then we became close through that.
So you train together?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really and back then it was everyone trained with everybody.
Yeah.
So like, I'll never forget Josh having me in full mount and punching me in my face. And like, you know, like the 10-second timer goes off and he starts punching me harder. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck, bro? I can get up and I'm like, you're a piece of shit. Because everyone trained with everybody. And like, he had to get his work. I had to get my work. And sometimes I was on the bottom of full mount getting punched by his giant ass. But that's the way it was back then. There was like 135er in the gym. There was 145er. There was 255ers. You know, there was not a lot of people. But we went to corner a guy named Ralph, you know, true story, Rise of a Warrior. My boy Dan Donaldson runs it now. He's a good friend of mine. And coming on the way back, we're talking about how we should run a promotion. Dan was the first guy that I saw that did it right. You know, he understood how to market an event. He understood how to put on a good event. He understood what the fans wanted, what the fighters wanted. He got the full picture. And so I was like, I want to do an event like that. And we already fought professionally, but didn't have like great experiences. So we're like, let's take every good experience we've had and every bad experience we've had and just kind of like figure out what we want. If we were fighting on this card, what would we want?
So did he become your competition then when you started that?
He was that Dan?
Yeah.
Nah, I mean, the sport was still not very big, but you know, he was in a small town in Fort Pierce and we were in a small town in Tallahassee. And it just didn't, you know, like they were so far from each other, it didn't affect one another.
Okay.
And then went to Jacksonville, still far from him. Honestly, all of our events are at least 2 hours away from his. And now we work together. So like a lot of his back end is done by teams that I built for Combat Night, like are now running.
Oh, that's awesome.
His cage is our cage. His son works for me. His son's like one of my main social media guys. So yeah, we're about as close to it as can be.
Yeah. So was your you said your motivation was to take all the good things from the promotions you fought for. But I know you run it where you have an amateur and a pro. Like you have, and you're basically a feeder league for yourself, right? Yeah. Like at that point. So was there amateur when you started Combat Night or no?
That's when we started it. It had just got legalized. There was I don't know, he probably hates the story being told, but Dean Thomas was throwing smokers at his gym.
Yeah.
And he got busted for like an unlawful assembly. Had to pay like a giant fine.
I feel like I did hear that story.
Yeah, you can look it up.
Yeah.
He got arrested. It was bullshit though. You know what I mean? Like anything, it made it more legitimate.
His gym here, the one he had in Longwood or whatever, back in
the one in Port St. Lucie.
Yeah, okay.
So if anything, it made it more legit in the sport. People were like, "Oh, he's throwing fights."
For
like,
real?
Yeah, you know. But right after that is whenever we got started. Rise of a Warrior was one of the very first amateur shows, and we came shortly after.
All right, so you started like right away, just amateur. You did amateur and pro right away.
We did amateurs for almost 100 events, probably. You know, one of the last things me and my business partner talked about was wanting to do pro events. I want to say we were like 77 events in, 78 events in, somewhere around there. And we were talking about like, we want to get back to the community. Like we really felt like doing just amateur events was like putting our amateurs in a position where they had to go travel and be the B side of a card. They had to go travel out of town and deal with all the stuff that, you know, we had dealt with in our career. And what was our whole goal in this whole thing? To like get rid of the things we didn't like and get the things we do like. So it was it was like literally he came to my house and was at my house like a week right before he passed. And we talked about doing a pro event. Damn. The majority of the time. Like every time we talked about business, it was like, yeah, we should do a pro event. Where are we going to do it first? Got to do it in Tallahassee. So when he passed, it was like a no-brainer. Like, yeah, it's time to do a pro event.
That's awesome. The very next event kind of to honor him and shit, right?
For sure.
Awesome. So a question on that. When you guys came up with the concept and you executed and whatnot, did you have like disagreements in the way you wanted to run it?
You know, we really did the same thing we did with my fight career. We made this event was in November and we held our first event in January.
Yeah.
So, we were just trying to be legal, like what we have to do to be a legal entity and like have an event. You know, it took us almost a week to open a bank account because nobody wanted to give us a business account. So like, Josh had bad credit. I had bad credit. Like they're looking at us like you're a liability. Even the owner of our gym at the time was like, yeah, we're not opening an account for y'all. We're like, what the fuck? Like, come on, man, we know you. And luckily we had a lot of we had done a lot of good networking, and we knew a lot of people. Josh was a local from Tallahassee. I went to school there for like 5 years. I had lived there for 6 or 7, so we knew a lot of people. So we had a great support when it came to sponsors, but we still had to go and get all these sponsors. And then we had to like, where do we print posters? Like, we're going to like Target Copy, spending $2 a poster, crazy money. So we wasted a bunch of money those first few events, but we learned a lot about business just by trial and error. But yeah, with 3 months, and so we didn't have time to really like envision what we wanted. It was more of like, what can we do? And everything was moving so fast. If anyone came to me now and said, hey, I want to do an event in 3 months, my first event ever, I'd be like, stop. You're crazy.
I mean, how'd that first event turn out? Like, do you have a good turnout for it? Was it all just like your people?
Yeah, a great event. Turned out well. We made money, which is also
that's insane.
For MMA events, it's hard. Since then, we've had events where like we, especially, really only in the early days where we'd break even, we'd make $500 and like be split in $250 between the two of us. But in Tallahassee, we crushed. It was whenever we started traveling to other towns where we'd have like rough nights. In Jacksonville, where we didn't have the network, we didn't have, $10,000 in sponsors going into an event. We had nothing.
Right.
We had ticket sales.
But dude, when you started it, because there's a lot that goes into this, right? Like you got to get insurance. Mm-hmm. And I guess at first you did your own marketing and stuff.
Yeah.
But like,
we still do our own marketing. Yeah. We've always done our own marketing.
But you're pretty good at that.
Yeah.
Like you guys' social media is pretty crazy. I mean, your social media yourself, you're like, I found you before I even realized you were the guy for Combat Night.
Oh, that's
like
dope.
I seen one of your videos because you do a bunch of random, like in the gym and stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing a comedian. I'm like, oh, is this a comedian like taking advantage of MMA memes? And then I found out who you were. I'm like, oh, all right, that's cool.
That's hilarious.
But
that's cool.
Like, dude, how hard was it to get insurance at that time and shit like that for like? I'd imagine insurance for fighters got to be insane, right?
It's really not that. It's not that bad. It's not that good. It's gotten crazy now. Honestly, now maybe at the time it was crazy. Inflation. It's happened.
Yeah.
But to me at the time it didn't seem that bad. And really, what it was is like one of my good friends, Dean Toole, who does events up in Pensacola, and another guy by the name of David Obelos in Georgia. Man, the good events and the people who are good at this job, which are very, very few. Man, we're friends with each other. We can communicate, have conversations, we avoid each other's territories, and we work together and not against each other. So I got to lean on a bunch of people who had already been in the business and asking them, hey, who do you go through for insurance? Richard Cox, our matchmaker, since day one, that was one job we knew we couldn't do, like matchmaking, like it's crazy. Now, Richard has taught me everything he knows. Matchmaking is crazy. Like to be a good matchmaker,
especially with the amount of like talent you have on your roster, it's got to be insane.
And not like, the UFC is different. Like these guys have
established.
Yeah, they're paying. Yeah, you're fighting Billy. Here's $25K.
Yeah.
Here it's like no, it's not the same matchmaking at this level. So Richard Cox is a G. I've learned a lot from him. But leaning on all these people about the insurance, about the general liability for the club. Just a lot of friends, man.
It just seems crazy to me because it's like it's an event where everyone's trying to physically destroy each other.
Yeah,
I would think it would be almost hard to get.
No, because it was legal at the time. So once it's legal, insurance companies, they're doing numbers. Like even with our lives, they're doing numbers. They understand where's the risk, where's the whatever. We didn't have a lot of claims. Now are getting crazy, to be honest with you, because the people are getting so much better at MMA. So it's more violent and there's just more high level techniques being used.
Yeah.
Back then, bro, we never had people having claims or like going to the hospital. I mean, that's another thing too. Like I said, I've watched the sport evolve, and people are understanding how to be more violent.
Yeah, no, that is the scariest thing right now, dude. Like, I mean, you have you think that they would have figured everything out by now, right? But now you have things like calf kicks and dude, the ground game itself. Like,
yeah,
I mean, you've been through the evolution as well. When we started, it was like basic shit, dude. It was still almost at Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. Like they had a couple, you had like a De La Hiva guard and whatnot. But then in, 2012, 2013, they started bringing out the Barambolos. Dudes were doing like sitting backflips.
Legs were illegal now.
Legs.
Like back then it was like, don't touch the leg, now it's like.
And that's where the chaotic injuries happen is on the legs, dude.
Yeah.
Guys are losing their knees and ankles like left and right at this point.
Yep.
You talked about matchmaking. So, in boxing, obviously, these guys will pad their records.
Yeah.
And
boxing
I think
is very unique.
Yeah. I mean, that's one way to put it.
They're also paying for those padded records.
Yeah.
So like if I'm your manager and I want to build you up, you know, get you to 10-0, 12-0.
Yeah.
I'm paying for your opponents.
Yeah.
So whoever you're fighting, I paid for them to come in. I might have paid their travel. I might have paid for everything for that opponent. And then you might have also paid the promoter money for the slot. And then
that guy knows he's coming to get whooped.
He knows he's coming to get beat. So after paying the promoter's like, and you got to sell 100 tickets.
Yep.
That's why these boxers that make it have such crazy followings, because they have to have this. Like if you don't have a community in boxing and you don't have the people behind you paying the money, the sponsors, all the things like.
Well, that was like the original formula for the MMA events too, right? Like you had to sell your own tickets.
Yeah.
I think you still do for some, right?
Yeah. I mean, we're not like, of course, we want guys who are going to sell tickets, but we built our brand.
Yeah.
So it's not relying on who's fighting on the card. We have a lot of fans that like just, hey, combat night's coming. I want to go.
Right.
I know it's going to be good fights.
Which is a good move, dude. Because now you can really bring fresh talent in. They're like, it's on combat night. It's got to be good, right?
Yeah.
So to that, like, have you had managers approach you and try to like pay you out to get their guys a padded record?
Of course, man. Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
I mean, it depends, you know. I've had like, you know, the situations that we have had is like two guys want to fight each other and they're coming to us to make the fight on our event. And they're like, hey, we have a sponsor that'll, you know, cover our travel. Or
do they want to actually fight though?
Yeah,
or one of them sucks?
Yeah. Both of them want to fight.
Okay.
Yeah, both of them want to fight. And we have guys, you know, what's crazy to me is I was just talking about this recently is like, we'll have guys who want like, oh, give me an easy opponent, give me a bum opponent. And I also want to get paid 1,000. And it's like, bro, you asking for a lot of things right now.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's part of the sport, man. Just like in the UFC, there's guys that know they'll never be a champion.
Yeah.
They're journeyman status.
But you still got to win a couple fights to get that.
Yeah, you got to win. You got to win some fights. You can't be, and no one wants to fight the complete like dud. You know what I mean? Like they wanted to.
What's that one guy? Are you familiar with the one dude that's like 0-50 or some shit like that?
There's a couple of them out there.
There's one like really notorious one though. I think he had like one win and it was over like a real name. That was like what made it so funny.
Sometimes they win. Yeah.
Like I was going down a rabbit hole looking up information on you. Mm-hmm. I forgot about Mikey Gomez, dude. Like you remember Mikey?
Mm-hmm. My business partner fought him.
Dude, he beat Matt Brown back in the day.
Yeah.
Like it's so random because he did, like when I trained at GBO, he was the man.
He was there, yeah. He was the man back then.
And he was doing Bellator, which I want to ask you about. You did Bellator as well around that same time, I think. But dude, he beat Matt Brown. He went to Bellator and then it kind of fell off. But yeah, it's still crazy to see that. Like you see guys that became top of the top. Yeah. And you look at their early days and you're like, MMA is different, dude. Yeah. MMA is different.
Way different. And like who they lost to. And it's like, it's like going down. Yeah, you say I used to always get on rabbit holes on Tapology. Or back then it was Sherdog.
It's still Sherdog, dude. I found you on Sherdog.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I'm like looking, because I know you also, you were cornering someone in Singapore to one event.
Troy Worthen is like my little brother. He lives down there. That's a guy you should connect with and have a conversation with. He's a very, very intelligent. He's like one of the, I always call him a kid.
So he lives down in Fort Lauderdale?
He trains, he's the head coach over MMA Science.
Dude, everyone's there now.
Yeah, well, there's a reason, man.
I'm probably going to sign up there because I've been out of the game for a minute, but I want to.
That's the spot.
I never finished my black belt, dude.
There's like, there's 2 or 3 spots down there, but if you're wanting to get into the MMA side of it and MMA Science, if you're wanting to get more into the jiu-jitsu side of it, maybe Wagner Rodka School. If you're trying to get into the MMA side of it, but you're on the other side of town, Jim Allers, there's like all these different.
Yeah, Jim's right by me, man. He just opened up a new gym.
The Miramar location?
Yeah, that shit looks amazing.
It's beautiful.
All black and stuff. Like
I helped, just gonna put it out there, I was there on day 1. I helped put the mats down. I measured incorrectly and we cut some mats too short. But I was there. I helped.
That's what counts, man. Yeah. You were there to support.
Yeah. You got to check that gym out. It's nice, man.
No, I know. Like our other boy, Jason Oliveira, he was pushing like crazy. And I'm like, my problem is my schedule just doesn't line up with shit, dude. There's a gym by me, the Mahecha brothers.
Yep. Familiar, they great jiu-jitsu as well?
No, they were awesome.
South Florida is ridiculous.
No, it's. I'm so blessed to be doing this podcast in Florida, dude. Like, I don't have to go anywhere. No, we have, but I don't have to.
Yeah.
Damn, where the fuck were we going with this? I told you I'm going to get sidetracked.
You were talking to me about
the ONE FC thing.
The ONE FC thing, Troy Worthen. I went down a crazy rabbit hole there.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good rabbit hole, though. I appreciate the...
I've known Troy since he was like 8 years old.
That's awesome.
He used to come in the wrestling room when I was in high school wrestling. He was like a little dweeb, little skinny kid. And then I got
Those
invited
are the best
back.
fighters.
Yeah. And then I got invited. He used to sit there and just watch us wrestle. And I was like, man, it's cool that the kid loves wrestling. He wants to watch his older brother wrestle. I went back when he was a senior. the wrestling coach was like, hey man, I need somebody who is still in the game that can come get this kid some rounds. He's going to the state tournament. He's gonna be in the state tournament. He's getting ready for regionals. Like, I need some good work for him. It's like, yeah, I'll come through the high school and I'll train. I'm wrestling with him. We're going at it. When we're done, he's like, you don't remember me, do you? And I was like, I've never met you, man. And he was like, Troy Worthen. And I was like,
now.
yeah, he's like, bro, he's back. I was like, and I'm like, nah, bro, I've never met you. And he was like, Eric Swanson, because they had different last names. It's like Eric Swanson's little brother. And I was like, the little dweeb? He's like, yeah. And I was like, God, what happened? And he was like, y'all used to always tell me like to work out my back muscles if I want to be a good wrestler. So like, bro, this dude's he's jacked. Anyways, yeah. And then I was trying to convince him to do MMA, didn't want to do it. Got him to train, got him to take a fight. And he was like, I know I'm going to go to firefighter, EMT. And I'm glad he decided to do the whole MMA thing. He actually came out to corner me in a fight after my mom passed. And I feel like that was the moment when he was there cornering me where he was like,
I got to get in this. Yeah. That'll do it. That'll do it.
The energy and excitement.
But you took a fight like on that same card, right?
Yeah, with the Troy that I was out there for Troy for.
And then how did that even happen? Like, did you see they had a vacancy and said, yo, I'll jump in, or did they hit you up?
Well, they hit Troy up and they were trying to get Troy to fight John Lineker. His opponent then would not have an opponent. And they looked me up and saw that I had fights. So like they're talking to Troy, and like as soon as they're done talking to Troy, they're like, and would you be interested in taking a fight? And I was like, huh? And this is like the day before weigh-ins.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I'm down. I was like, whatever. And they're like, okay, well just, don't get crazy. Like, keep it in mind. I'm like, all right, cool. I had been getting like 2 hours of sleep while I was out there because I had an event in Orlando when I came back. So like it's a 12-hour difference.
Yeah.
So I'm like working regardless. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm excited now. I'm like, this would be dope. Cause I've always told people that I would fight one day. One day I'll have my cup and mouthpiece and I'll get offered a fight. And
you had your cup and mouthpiece?
Yeah, like, they ever train my boy, so I don't want to get hit in the nuts. I don't want to get my teeth messed up. So I'm there to like get him ready.
And you were already on weight?
Well, it was at 45. I'm a 25er.
Jesus Christ, dude.
So
you moved up 2 classes to do that too?
I was sitting on weight.
Oh my God, dude.
And then at weigh-ins, so Troy went and did the whole ceremony against Shuya Kimiko.
Yeah.
Kimikoba, I think.
And then you stepped in and like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah. So they do the whole ceremonial, one championship face off, this big thing or whatever. And then the day of weigh-ins, they're like, hey, like Troy says he agrees to fight John Lineker. They come and officially offer him the fight. And then they're like, where's your friend at? And they like come find me and they're like, hey, you down for Shuya? And I was like, yeah. And I was eating like a bowl of noodles. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, all right, stop eating the noodles, go weigh yourself. And I was like, I'm good. I go get on the scale with my noodles. I was like 143. All right, finish the noodles, come back. Finished my noodles, came back, and I spent the whole night in the hospital getting medical, CT scan, MRI, like everything.
Dude, that's insanity. No, it's awesome. I mean, it gives you a lot of cred as the guy that runs the promotion too. They're like, oh, damn. Like Dana White threatened it one time against Tito, but you never saw it happen,
Yeah, I would have loved to see that.
It would have been amazing.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see that. I would have loved to see Joe Rogan versus Wesley Snipes, all those legendary matches.
Yeah.
Even John-Claude Van Damme out here calling out Jake Paul and shit. Like, he's called out everybody, dude.
I know. And no one's ever taken him up on a fight, though.
Like, who was he calling out in K1? It was someone crazy. Like, he probably would have gotten manhandled, but he was actually, like, only 40 at the time.
Yeah.
But did you take anything from one? Like, they have a lot of unique stuff. I think I already know your answer on this, but they have a lot of unique stuff over there. Like, I know they don't make money.
Yeah,
like,
it's
they pay the fighters.
Yeah.
But like, I heard they're bleeding money like
they
crazy. And then they have a unique weigh-in structure as well.
Yeah.
Which I think you've said is bullshit.
It's all bullshit. Yeah. I mean,
bullshit in what way?
It's that, man, someone who wants to cheat the system will find a way to cheat the system.
Of course.
And they can't be... One's not naive enough to not know this. Like, I've listened to them say, like, okay, because I've been out there for a few fights, cornering Troy and me fighting. And they're like, all right, guys, no sauna suits allowed. We're not, like, we're in a conference room. And they do like 2 different, they do our side, the other side.
Yeah.
So doing our meeting. And like, you can see a guy running in a sauna suit out the glass window by the pool. It's
so it was like Pride. It's just a facade.
They book a hotel with a sauna. And they say there's no sauna use. It's just like, it's weird things like that where...
Do you think that's a good thing if you actually could make it happen, like having a rehydration clause?
A great thing.
Did you ever think of like trying to put something in your promotion, or because these guys are going to move on?
I don't think it sets them up. I think they should be preparing for what they're going after. So if they're going for the UFC, they should be preparing like the UFC wants them to prepare. I don't think there's a way to do it unless I just think at our level, definitely not. At the UFC level, I think there is a way to do it. Like you do, quarterly weigh-ins or before when they take the fight,
right?
What's your weight at? You have to go to a doctor and do a physical, stuff like that. It'd be more expensive. It'd be expensive, but not for them. They got money. But I do think there's a way to do it. But man, they're going to figure out a way to cheat it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's like the steroid thing. Like every time they say it's clean, it's like, is it?
It's not.
Like some guy found out how to change a molecule and now you can't find it.
Yep, that's it. And someone tips them off. And then, then everyone, people get busted. But yeah, I think it's impossible to make any sport 100% clean and safe.
You could dig in at any time. Did you want to eat?
We can have a bite, man. Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Because like I said, I'm going to make it mad awkward for you on that first bite.
I don't care.
Get some social media content.
I don't think me and awkward are even the same.
So go ahead and let everyone know what you got before you bite into it too.
So I have got, it is just garlic shrimp with yuca, black beans, and sweet plantains. This is my current favorite meal over here at Ray's Cuban Cafe. And my second favorite. My favorite is what you got, the tripleta. That is the meal.
And you did advise me to get that, and I went with the recommendation.
I'm glad you did. Whenever you take your first bite into that sandwich, you're going to thank me. So let's see what we got. The black beans are always on point. They butterfly the shrimp. I'm a person that likes to mix all my food together.
Oh yeah, same dude.
So it's funny. My son's like that. My daughter is not. So I'm gonna just get a bite of everything. When I mean everything, I also mean sweet plantain. Like I want.
Yeah, it's a wild mashup right there.
All the flavors, all the textures. That's a good bite. I could have been a diva and just got a little.
No, this is perfect.
Hold on.
I'm hoping for a little bit of a mess here at this point.
I'm going to stab it. So I got it. I'm actually going to dip it again too, just to make sure we get a good bite here.
You're probably biased. What's the rating?
It's a 9.
That's fair.
All day.
That's fair. I like that.
Yeah, bro. I'm telling you, man. I get jealous of people. Like I want you to order because I want to see you eat. I'm like, yeah, you enjoy that.
Pop out the drugs here.
Oh, how many? What pouch are you on?
6.
I got some for you when you get done.
Are you serious?
One of my sponsors, yeah.
Who's your sponsor?
Free.
Oh, dude, my boy buys those at like Texaco. I was making fun of them. They're actually good.
Yeah. Well, they sponsor us, so they are good though. I mean, I haven't done any brand but them. Like I'm not like a big nicotine. I'm not a big anything guy, really. Like
I didn't want to be, dude, but my boy put me onto them, and I was like, I'm sure I'm undiagnosed ADHD because like caffeine and nicotine just puts me in the zone.
Yeah,
I feel normal. Everyone's like, you're gonna die. I'm like, I feel alive right now.
Yeah, I know that caffeine used to be for kids. Used to be a prescription if they had ADHD.
Well, now they moved it up.
Yeah.
You got all the crazy shit. You got like borderline meth.
My buddy's kid, they told him like, oh, your daughter's got ADHD for sure. And he was like, we're not giving her meds. They're just like flat out, we're not doing that. And he was like, all right, well, I'm glad you said that. He's like, I'd rather you just, he's like, wake up in the morning before school, give her a half a shot of espresso. And it worked.
Hey, at least the doctor was honest, dude.
Yeah.
A lot of the doctors just want to push the pills. So
especially out in, he's in California.
Damn, dude, I got all over the place here. Like, I know I had some good shit I got to ask you.
Yeah, I'm going to jump back in whenever you want to, man.
Yeah, so you did speak about not being able to get a line of credit and all that. Was there ever a time where you thought you were going to have to, like, cut it because money was too hard?
I've told the story a few times, but, I had $15,000 on my savings account. I was always really good at saving money.
Back then?
Yeah, back then.
That's impressive as fuck. Dude.
I was good at saving money and making money. I also worked at bodybuilding.com.
Really?
Yeah.
Were you part of the MISC?
The what?
The MISC?
What's that?
On the forums?
Nah, I never messed with the forum. What is that? The MISC?
I mean, dude, it was like the original meme place. It was a bunch of like fitness dudes.
That's hilarious.
I competed at a Naga like 100 years ago.
Yeah.
They had a shirt that like a dude made. Dude, we were like so stupid back then. We think memes are stupid now. But have you ever seen that meme of Bert from Sesame Street just like grilling you? Like,
yeah.
So that was like the meme mascot for the Misk. So they had a shirt that just said Misk with that on it, and I really competed in that shit.
That's hilarious.
But it was funny, dude, because it was a lot of like-minded guys.
Yeah.
We would roast similar stuff. The sense of humor was very... I thought you might have known since you said you worked there, but that's crazy.
No, bodymillion.com was real big back in the day.
Huge.
That was huge. I don't even know what happened to it.
He sold it, didn't he? The guy that originally had it, didn't he sell it?
I have no idea.
Now it just feels like influencers trying to peddle crap.
Yeah, I don't even see them pop up on my page anymore. Like, I have no idea.
I think if you search for supplements, though, they still are like in the top.
Yeah. I don't take supplements either anymore.
Nothing?
Creatine. Like, and shit that I'm buying off Amazon, like vitamin D, vitamin K, zinc, all that stuff.
Yeah, okay.
But they used to give us the scratch and dent stuff. So if like there was a dent in the protein bottle, I could take it.
For free?
For free.
Oh, that's amazing.
So I'd take it to the gym and I'd sell it. So I hustled a lot. There's something, I never forget one time, like, bro, 24 times 4. So 100 things of protein came in. They were all sucked in from like the heat, cold, whatever, like just all of, so that they were all considered damage. And I was good friends with the inventory manager. And I was like, yo, they're going to go on the free rack. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, yo, can I just get all of them? And he was like, I mean, if you're first. And I was like, how much do I got to pay you to be first? And he was like, $100. I was like, I'm first.
Yeah, dude, you could resell this for crazy. Bro, even back then, they were going for like $50.
Yeah, and I was just doing them for like $25, $30. But I also, I'd buy cars and resell cars. I'd find something on Craigslist and how's the sandwich? Dude.
Oh, it's good as fuck.
Okay, good. A lot of flavor, right?
Yeah, like I like that they added the like shredded pork in there and stuff. Yeah. Usually you get the Cuban sandwich. It's got, the ham and all the normal stuff. But this?
Yeah, real steak, real pork. It's good.
No, it's amazing.
But yeah, so I had saved a bunch of money and I told him when we were in the car on the ride home, I told him, I was like, yeah, I'm down to do that. Like, yeah, I got $15,000 because he was like, it's going to be expensive. It's going to be like 15, 20 grand. I was like, I got 15 grand. And like at the time, like the next day I was like, damn, why did I say that? I remember like thinking like, that was stupid of me. But then we did it, made our money back and a couple $1,000s. And the next few we did was kind of the same situation.
You had to drop the whole 15 on the first one?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. We probably, I mean, we've always ran a show that was up to par, like professionalism, and like we didn't try to take shortcuts. So our shows have always been real expensive. I think if someone wanted to do an MMA show now and wasn't looking for like the wrong way, in my opinion, they could probably get away for like 12, 15 grand. Our shows have always been like 25 for an amateur.
Damn, dude. Yeah, so we managed to recoup all that, even paying out the fighters and stuff?
Yeah, well, amateurs don't get paid.
At all? Oh, damn.
You can't pay amateurs. And you have to have 5 amateur fights in Florida to go pro. Now, our pro cards are going to be way more than that. And I remember when we were doing pro cards initially, expenses go up, purses go up, insurance goes up, everything goes up. But I remember initially we were doing, we get away with a pro card for like $50K. There's no chance. Like, not even if I wanted to cut back on everything, there's just no way I could get it under that number anymore. Right. The fight purses and having to pay the state alone is a lot more than that now. So it's cool to grow though. It's cool to see I like the added expenses, and as long, as well as our expenses go up, the money we make goes up. We haven't raised ticket prices since COVID. But I can see that happening in the near future, just because, like I said,
everything's going
up.
Everything. That's actually impressive that since COVID, you haven't raised prices. Like every other business, even if there was no reason, prices went up.
Oh man, there's promotions that are not nearly as good as us that are charging more than us. And I know it, but it's like, I try to I have sponsors who are still paying what they paid on the very first event.
So
try to keep stuff.
Let me talk about that part of the business as well. Cause I know you said as a fighter early on, you got like good sponsors. You were like really well taken care of. And what was it? Balm was one of your like main sponsors. So how did you sell that? How did you sell these guys on sponsoring you? Like, because you got to have a return on investment, right? So like, what were you pitching these guys to get them? Because like you said, like at one point MMA was kind of
It's changing now. Because when I was in it, social media wasn't what it is.
Yeah, 100%.
So my reach was not very far. And so back then it was more about people who just wanted to see me be successful. People who had money. The Beard Balm guy was really cool. I got him originally for gym, and then I got him for myself after. But I was like hustling gym sponsors. I was like talking to a lot of people for gym.
Yeah.
And then I would like, they'd see, I'd be friends with them and they'd see my shit. Oh, you're fighting, what how can I get involved with you? The beard guy gave me $1,500 per fight, which is crazy back then.
Yeah, for sure.
Honest Amish Beard Balm.
So what were they paying you? Like $200, $300 back then for a fight?
Yeah, like 3 and 3, 300, 300, 400, 400. And he did it without blinking an eye. And just because he liked us. I mean, there was no reason. He lives up in Pennsylvania. Like there was no reason why this guy should even. I just randomly messaged him one day. I used this product.
Yeah.
But I always tell guys that's like the biggest thing I don't see guys doing nowadays is like hustling. Like we had to hustle.
Yeah, for sure.
When we were coming up, our blood work and medicals weren't covered. Like it was just, and we were fighting, in Georgia and Barnes. Like it was a crazy different time. But man, I would just reach out to any company that I used, any friends, family that had businesses or were managers of businesses. And I hit everybody up. I got told no 9 out of 10 times. But to see any guy right now that doesn't have, like, especially now with social media and like the ability to promote yourself and your brands, like it's insane to me that guys aren't making money. I just think about a fight shirt. I always had a fight shirt. Every event I had a fight shirt. I would sell it for $20. I would get printed for $5 or $6, and I would have 8 or 9 sponsors. And the cheapest thing on my back of my shirt was $250.
Damn.
I always made between $7 and $10 grand in sponsors when I fought.
Dude, that's insane as fuck.
Hey, pay me $300. Pick me. Because like promoters at the time too, it's like you only have so much money to pay people.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not going to sell tickets in Georgia or in, I might sell like 20 or 30, but I'm not going to sell a bunch of tickets. Down here, I was selling 10 to 15,000 in tickets.
What?
On top of my sponsorship. And then I'd get a cut of the tickets because of how many tickets I was selling.
Dude, like that, I don't think people could understand how impressive that was for the time period, to be honest with you. Like you were probably making more than some UFC fighters.
Oh, yeah, for sure at the time.
Because those guys, once the sponsorships got cut, a lot of them got screwed over too.
Yeah, that was a hard hit
like
for
the
sure.
classic Condom Depot and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I still don't know what the hell a dynamic fastener is, but I know what the brand is.
Yeah, I know the brand as well.
But so like, what advice would you give people like nowadays? Because I know you're really good at this stuff, man. Like, I could see what you do. Like, honestly, when I first found out about you and I was digging into you, I was like, this guy's got to be telling these guys to do some viral shit. Like, you got to be like, do you encourage that for like weigh-ins and stuff?
No. It's interesting. No, people.
So these guys just come in and inject themselves and act like Bane and Hannibal Lecter.
That was all Jeremy Williams. Really? I will not take any credit from Jeremy Williams. Jeremy Williams was the first guy that really went all in on something. And it was a random, he pulled his tooth out, threw it on the ground and stomped on it. And he screamed.
Jesus Christ. It was already falling out?
Yeah, well, it was a replacement. And he was getting it. So a funny story. It was like his incisor or one of these teeth over here. Funny story. He was supposed to be getting the permanent like the following week. So he's thinking, I'll rip this out, throw it on the ground, stomp on it. Like people think I'm crazy. Well, something happened and like he didn't get it for like weeks. And he's like, I'm not buying another replacement, like another.
So
like,
just left it.
So he just had to leave it like that. But the tooth pull was the first thing he did. And then I think he did a cigarette thing where he put the cigarette on his tongue and like flicks it.
Yeah.
Made it look really real. It was an electronic cigarette, but it looked real. And then he did the injection thing next, but he got picked up by ESPN on like all the things that he was doing.
A lot of your guys' stuff goes viral, man. Like I'm gonna ask you another question on this too, but it's funny because a lot of people at work, like I said, a lot of guys know what I do. Mm-hmm. So they were like, yo, who's next or whatever. And they were talking about that arm break that you guys just had that's on everything. Mm-hmm. I was like, I forgot what we were talking about, but I mentioned the arm break. He's like, yeah, I saw that. I'm like, yeah, that's the promotion. That's the guy I'm going to interview. And it's funny. Like your reach is crazy.
Yeah.
Like a lot of your stuff goes viral. I thought you were behind somebody. I thought maybe because you sound like you'd be a good mentor for stuff, man. Like you understand the power of branding. You understand the sponsorships.
I do. And that's kind of a benefit too at Combat Night is like we manage these guys in some sense a lot too. Like I'm doing things that a manager should be doing for free. And I don't think a lot of them understand the value of it. Some of them do, but I don't think a lot of them understand the value of it. Like when me and like Julian Williams and Mike Lee and all these guys that are coaches now and running gyms now came up, promoters were evil. There's just no way about it. Like no one was looking out for you. No one was trying to get you, to teach you how to like make money on your own.
No,
or tell you about sponsorships.
Look what you said too. Like all your blood work and everything was on you.
Yeah.
Like that's wild.
Branding, everything, you know? So I don't want guys to have to rely on like getting punched in the head to make money. Like I want guys to be able to make money off of like, you know, they sign a deal and they already got 10 grand coming to them as sponsors. They know it, you know? So like, that's what the opportunity becomes more valuable.
So you're saying through Fighting for Combat night, like they get sponsors, or you're saying like they already knew that on their own and
we're like, we help them. Like, yeah, if I have all the time sponsors like, hey, I want to support a fighter. Like, you have any good fighters, you know, you'd recommend? Perfect. Yeah, I do. I have these guys, this guy, this guy, this guy. And who am I going to recommend? People that are professional, the people who promote themselves online, the people who aren't causing problems by showing up late or not turning in blood work or paperwork. Someone who I know is going to make us look good as well to the sponsor.
Right.
I'm not gonna give him, even if the guy's 6-0 or 7-0, he's gonna go to the UFC, but man, he's an asshole. Doesn't follow through what he said he's gonna do. That's not the guy I'm recommending. I recommend the 3-3 pro over the prospect because the 3-3 pro might do everything right.
Right.
So yeah, we definitely, man, we want to help these guys. But more importantly, I think is the information, because every fighter that fights they know 10 business owners or 10 managers or 10 people who, it could be family, it could be a friend, whatever, but they know these people and like, man, just ask. It's like, you have no idea how many people want to support you and want to like show you love, but they just don't ask. Or they think like that everything's going to just fall in their lap. And it's like, no, man, that's not the way the world works.
No, not at all.
Yeah. Not
especially
just fighting.
in the environment now, dude. Like you could have the biggest following in the world, but unless you're like top 5%, you're not getting reached out to.
Yeah.
You got to make that happen.
Yeah, we've been doing this for 14 years, and only in the past 2 years have people been like really reaching out to us for sponsorship opportunities. And, you know, companies that I have no idea even existed will hit us up. The free nicotine pouches. Like, you know, I don't do that. Now every now and then I will, because I think it's a great, I like it better than coffee.
Yeah.
But
they actually go great together.
Yeah. I can't do both together. No, that's no, I'm good on that. 3 milligram and I'm wiped. But
I'm jealous.
You know, these companies that I wouldn't have known of before, now they're finding us, they're recognizing us. So that's dope. But yeah, as a fighter, it's like, yo, if you wait until you get to the UFC to be Conor McGregor, it's too late.
Yeah, by far. People know it's fake too.
Yeah. Or Sean O'Malley, like, no, it's too late. You need to build your brand now. And especially with a company like us, we give them so much marketing, videos, pictures.
Yeah, that's what makes it so funny though, dude, because like it's a common theme in your promotion. Like you got viral fighters.
Yeah.
Like on that topic, what I was going to ask along with the arm break, what's like the craziest injury you've seen since running a promotion?
The arm break. The arm break is it, bro. I was cage side, hadn't fully understood what happened, and he was like holding his arm, and my videographer next to me, the high end, the FX6 guy, is like freaking out. He's like, "That's why it's broke." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he rewinds his footage and shows me, and like I'm almost puking. Like
was this before the fighter had found out his arm was broke? Because he went to celebrate.
Yeah, he's sitting there on the ground and holding his arm, and I'm like, "What happened?" Like, because I missed the arm live. I was right there though, and then my videographer shows me, rewinds it and plays it. And like, I got like chills, like cold sweat right away. Like, oh man, I'm not the person that can watch Anderson Silva's leg break 100 times.
Oh dude, that shit was like,
as soon as it happened, I was like, oh, I'm good.
Like that was bad. But even like when Corey Hill, he was like the first big one that did it. That shit was sick.
Gracie Tampa, I trained with that cat before. Rest in peace. Yeah.
Oh man. And those, man, like it's like we were saying, like you see shit you haven't seen before. And
yeah.
It was like he opened the gate for that.
Yeah,
shit.
That was the first time. That was the first crazy. Shane Aoki had popped someone's arm, I think, popped someone's arm out of socket in Pride or something. I remember he got up and like flicked him off. But yeah, I mean, as far as like crazy breaks, that was for sure it, man. Corey Hill.
Yeah, you can't beat that shit. So, was there any times that like a card almost got canceled where you had to pull off like a miraculous save?
Oh yeah, pandemic.
So
we were the first event to run a show during the pandemic.
Oh,
we did it before the UFC.
Did you pull the Jacksonville move?
Yep.
Did they take the idea from you?
Yeah.
100%?
Yep.
That's crazy.
Go check out ESPN, man. We got I wrote a whole article about it. We were the only event happening in the world.
Yeah.
At least to their knowledge, we were the only event happening in the world. Like
UFC was like, yo, what the fuck?
Well, so they were supposed to have an event in Tampa.
Yeah.
and it got canceled because they canceled the WWE. WrestleMania was supposed to be in Tampa that year too, and they were like, "Whoa, WrestleMania is not allowed to have the event." Like, so they were like, "Yeah, we know this isn't going to happen." We had our event in Jacksonville. I got a call from the mayor's office that morning, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm running an event." And they're like, "Yeah, well, you can go to jail, blah blah blah." And I was like, "I'm following all the regulations." And I was like, "Every regulation in state, y'all, that the governor of our country, of our state, put into place, I'm following.
Right.
Less than 50 people, all the things." And they sent out the fire marshal, and they sent out the second in command in the mayor's office, and they sat there with a clicker. We're clicking all night, and we had 3 rooms that we were like rotating people in and out of. No fans in the stands. Took a huge hit.
So wait, what? He was clicking for what? To see
People.
how long? Oh,
How many people were in the room?
Oh.
Couldn't have more than 50 people in the room.
Dude, that is nuts.
It was March 21st, and then I think the UFC went there in April or in May. But once everything shut down, like around March 17th or 16th, by like March 8th, everyone else in the state had canceled their events.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's not going to happen. Everyone's canceled their events. And my fighters, the guys fighting for me, which like half of them ended up in the UFC.
Yeah.
James Krause was at that event. Dominic Graves was at that event. Nick Roerwick.
Fighting on your card?
They had guys fighting for us. James Krause had Ellie Wagman, who Ellie's a pretty
Grant's wife.
Yep, Grant's wife. Probably gonna be in the UFC one day. Stephen Koslow, Shelby Corinne, Ramon Tavares, Preston Parsons was originally scheduled on that card. Lucas Alexander, Valentin Woodburn. Like, we literally had like 6 guys in the UFC
that's
off
wild
that card.
as fuck, dude.
But I wasn't sure I was going to have the event, but until there was like a real like roadblock, like you can't go any further, I kept doing things. I had other promoters in the state be like mad at me. Like, what are you doing trying to run this fucking event? You know, you're not going to be able to do it. Like, our fighters are saying we're full of shit because we canceled our events, but you're still having yours.
And then they thanked you afterwards, right?
And yeah, well, the promoters didn't thank me. I mean, it helped us out a lot in terms of like loyalty and like reliability in the state, knowing like, hey, if Combat Night says something's going to happen, they're going to do their best to make sure it happens. But as far like for us, like it was a huge hit. Like, but again, I don't host events. So many events do this, and it's stupid in general in business, but they'll do things they don't have the money to cover, like the GFL.
Yeah.
Have talking all these big contracts and doing all these things they don't have the money to cover.
It's for the better.
Yeah, well, I'm glad they're not. Because it would have ended up bad anyways. Guys would have fought and not been paid.
I think Jake Paul's trying to do the same thing they're trying to do, bring back the 2009, 2010 era. Like,
yeah.
Ronda Rousey versus...
that's going to do numbers, but it's gimmick fights.
Oh, it's terrible, dude. Yeah. We wanted that like 10 years ago.
And Ronda's going to smash Gina Carano. It's going to be bad.
100%. Yeah. Gina wasn't training for like, 15 years?
And Gina wasn't that... even when she wasn't that good.
Well, she was in that time when like all the women weren't that good. Mm-hmm. She almost had Cyborg, but she didn't know how to hold a mount, dude. Like, that shit was crazy.
Yep.
I say that all the time. I'm like, for as scary as Cyborg is now, dude, she was very beatable back in the day. So let me just ask you like 2-3 more questions and we'll wrap this up.
No problem. I also ramble, so
no, it's fine. I just
probably be a long time.
Nah, I just want to keep these people open for our benefit, you know?
Oh, I got you.
What the fuck was I about to ask? Yeah, how you just named a lot of names. Who do you think was someone that was coming up in the scene that you thought was going to be like really great but never panned out?
I don't want to say. So like from our generation, this isn't a knock on them either. I think they still had great careers, but one of the biggest ones is first one that came to mind, and he's done great things. Again, I don't want to take away, but I thought this guy was going to be in the UFC 100%, and that's Louis Palomino, Baboon.
Oh yeah, dude, we had him on the cast too. He told his whole story about why that didn't happen.
Okay,
you familiar with it?
I'm not real familiar with it. So I trained with him a lot. He's the homie.
He had legal issues, dude. Like he was an illegal immigrant for like 30 years. So he said that he could have, but he was like worried about that fucking everything up. Like he was like, I'm not gonna be able to do that, and just never did it.
Damn, that's crazy.
Because it's a good one. I mean, it's true.
Yeah,
he could have been good in that shit.
No, I think he was one that should have made it. Shinya Aoki, I wish he would have made it, but like for local level. It's definitely him and Jose Figueroa. I don't know if you know who Jose Figueroa is. He's a local guy. He's the striking coach over ATT Longwood. Man, Jose was an animal. Jose was a beast. He beat a guy who went in the UFC. The guy went to the UFC after Jose beat him, and somehow Jose didn't go to the UFC. It's crazy.
I mean, it happens. It's fucked up.
But yeah, man, you know, the thing about MMA, and I figured this out too late. I figured this out when I was like 4-1, 5-1. But it's not about how good you are at fighting. It's like everything. And that's what kind of ruined it for me. If I'm being honest, like it ruined it for me whenever it was like, man, I thought fighting was so pure.
Right. You would think that the number 1 would fight the number 2, right?
Yeah.
Shit like that.
And that, you know, maybe back then the number 1 was fighting the number 2. It was more pure than it is now. But, you know, in order to get in the UFC, you had to know somebody. You had to like, it was just all these games that I didn't understand. I thought I knew the game I was playing and I didn't. And then I watched how like guys like Jim Allers got treated in the UFC versus a guy like Josh Samman got treated in the UFC. Like they loved Josh. Jim was just another American wrestler.
But yo, they did put them both on the Orlando card. That was pretty respectful.
No, they did.
Back when UFC was affordable to go view in person.
Yeah, that was a great event. Jim got, I feel like Jim, I love Cole Miller. He's a homie too. I like Cole, but it's like, come on, man, really?
Oh no, I thought Jim was gonna have that fight like 100%.
It was definitely going in his direction. And Josh had a rough one that night. I think that was the night did he fight Barncat? Ali?
Yeah.
Yeah.
His name was Barncat, right? Tamden McCrory?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And you're a real fan. But yeah, once I figured out how the game was, it kind of just ruined it for me. And I wish these guys understood that like, yo, like the UFC is not your friend. Like, and there is a game they're playing.
You're their product.
The quicker you understand the game and you can play it, the better it is for you, the more money you're going to make. And that's why I tell these guys, like you were asking about the viral weigh-ins, the viral face-offs, pretty much before every event, every weigh-in, I tell them, hey guys, look, we're going to highlight the entertaining stuff. That's just how we do it here. And if you watch anything online, you watch One Championship, you watch UFC, what do they highlight? The entertaining stuff.
Yep.
That could be an interview you had. That could be the face-off right now. That could be your walkout tomorrow. Who knows what's entertaining? It could be
if you're not relying on that, you're relying on getting a spectacular knockout.
Or being entertaining in your fight, which is a hard, I always tell them like, number 1 is winning your fight. Number 2, figure out how to be entertaining.
Yep. Because
if you don't know how to, first, if you don't know how to win fights, doesn't matter how entertaining you are. Like, you'll just be a regional guy.
Yep.
If you know how to win fights and you know how to be entertaining, sky's the limit. You can make millions of dollars. But if you just know how to fight, good luck.
Yeah. Which is unfortunate, dude. It's like really unfortunate because I think when UFC started, that's what hyped this all up. Yeah. It was like, all right, who's the best?
Yeah. And now, and guys also understand that coming to our promotion. So guys come with bits.
Yep.
Like they have little things they want to do, things they want to say. And my reactions are all genuine because I have no idea what's going on. I just know.
Which has got to be awesome.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. I love the interactions.
It's like the dude, it's bare knuckle, right? With the cannolis and shit.
Yep. Yep.
And then you've had a couple, was it you that busted out the gummy worms and gave the dude one gummy worm?
Yes.
Yeah, that shit was funny, dude. He's like, just one? What the fuck?
Yeah.
So on the flip side of that question, who's someone right now that you think is going to make it? Or you can name a couple names.
There's a bunch, man. I'll start down south. Johan Budel. He's a 55er, really talented kid. Got a lot of heart, a lot of determination. But he just smoked people in the amateurs. I can't wait to see him make his pro debut. Central Florida, I have a few guys to pick. I'll keep coming up. Derek Babcock and Cody Cook. They're out of Fort Pierce. They've came up with Rise of a Warrior as amateurs. They fought with me as a Rise of a Warrior or Common Night as pros. Both of those guys, I think you're going to see in the headlines really soon. Cody just won our 35 belt. He beat Ginseng du Jour, who is like a phenom. It's crazy what Ginseng has done in his later age. Ginseng was like,
is that 40-year-old guy that just retired?
Yes. Yeah. And he's beat.
That guy almost hyped me up to go train and fight.
It's crazy. He's beat like 5 of our prospects, like 3-0, 4-0, violent knockouts.
Yeah.
So it's a big deal, even though his record's not, on paper, people might say whatever, but like Cody finishing him is a big deal. You'll see him soon. And Derek Babcock just won our 45 belt. Mm-hmm. I think the same thing. You'll see him in the UFC soon. Keep working our way up. Some younger guys. Seven Perkins. He's out of the Jungle MMA. Really good striker. Haven't seen a whole bunch of his grappling, but what I have seen, it looks good. He fought for us as a teenager, like ever since he was 14, 15 years old. Now he's 21, making his pro debut in Orlando. It's really cool. David Angel, who is another guy who started with us as a teenager. Him and Seven fought each other twice as teenagers. scraps, and now he's a pro. He'll be fighting his second pro fight here with us soon. Joe Gonzalez, another guy who came up with us as an amateur, super talented. He's out of Fusion Excel, and he's 1-0 right now. He made his debut in South Florida. Finished the guy quick. Tim Abdelshahid, he's like my kid at this point. He's a 25er, like 5'10", 5'11".
Damn.
Yeah, and he makes 25 easy.
Got that Conor McGregor build.
Yeah, and he makes 5 foot. He makes flyweight easy. I think he'll be a bantamweight one day, but we'll see. Then I'm sure there's more guys. I know Brian Santiago out of Fusion as well. Really talented guy. He just had a really violent finish over a guy who's like known to be one of the toughest guys that fights for us. He's good. 2-1. He's beat him at 1-0, so that's a big deal. Jackson Stanford, also out of the jungle. Heavyweight, looks really, really good. Ali Abazulam over in Tampa. He's got a few fights. He just took his first loss against a guy named Jeremiah McDougal, who's 9-1. We got a bunch of, I'm talking about like the super like guys who have like 1 fight, 2 fights, but we have guys that are like 9-1.
Yeah.
Andrew Mercado, Jeremiah McDougal, Ali Abazulam, David Macias, Shane Estrada. There's so many guys that have those 7 or 8 fights or even 10 fights that are just, they're one call away. You know, it's just about, do they have the right manager that can get them the fights? Donovan Hedrick just made his contender debut on like a week's notice. He lost up a weight class, week's notice, just didn't have the cardio. Looked good though. So he put on a good show for the UFC. I imagine he'll be back soon as well. Yeah, man, there's no short supply of prospects for us over here in Florida.
So for sure, check all those guys out.
There's a lot. I know.
Yeah, that was a pretty long list, but I mean, I get it. You named like every weight class, so it was a good list. But yo, thank you for your time, man.
Yeah, man, I enjoyed it.
Where can the people find you? Where can they find more information about Combat Night? You know, anything else you want to plug in here?
Honestly, man, if they just search Combat Night, like it'll all pop up. It's nice to be in a place where we are now, where it's like there's no confusion about where Combat Night belongs in the world of MMA. So if they just type in Combat Night, they'll find our YouTube, our Instagram, and our Facebook, TikTok, all that stuff.
Perfect, man. Again, thank you for the time, man.
For sure, man.